What happened to the quiet kid who sat in the back of every class? His name was Daniel Whitmore, and in 4 years of high school, I maybe heard him speak 10 times. He sat in the back corner of every classroom, hood up, head down, sketching in a black notebook he never let anyone see. Kids called him Ghost because he moved through hallways like he was trying to be invisible. Teachers stopped calling on him after sophomore year because he'd just shrug and look away. The popular kids made jokes about him being a future serial killer, which everyone laughed at because it was easier than wondering if he was okay. I sat next to him in junior year art class, the only elective he seemed to actually care about. One day I accidentally knocked his notebook off the desk. When I picked it up, it fell open to a page that made me freeze. It was a drawing of his own face, but cracked like broken glass, with words leaking out of the fractures. Words like worthless, invisible, mistake. I handed it back without saying anything. He looked at me like he was waiting for me to make fun of him. I didn't. I just said, "You're really talented, man." He didn't respond, but something in his expression shifted. A few weeks later, I noticed Daniel wasn't wearing his usual hoodie. His arms were covered in bruises, yellow and purple, too many to be from accidents. When I asked if he was okay, he pulled his sleeves down and said he fell, but the bruises kept appearing. Black eyes explained away as sports injuries even though he wasn't on any team. A limp one week, a split lip the next. Teachers saw it. They had to have seen it, but Daniel's dad was a respected surgeon who donated to the school's athletic program every year. His mom was on the PTA board. Their Christmas card made the local newspaper. Nobody wanted to believe that family had problems, so nobody asked questions. I told my mom what I'd noticed, and she called the school counselor. The counselor called me in the next day and said Daniel's parents had been contacted and everything was fine at home. She reminded me that making false accusations could seriously hurt a family's reputation. I was 15. I didn't know what else to do, so I did nothing. Senior year started, and Daniel was different, quieter, if that was possible. He stopped coming to art class. His seat stayed empty for 2 weeks before anyone officially noticed. When I asked our teacher about it, she just said he'd transferred to independent study. No explanation. I saw him exactly once that fall, walking out of the grocery store with his mom. She had her hand clamped on the back of his neck like she was steering livestock. He looked at me for half a second with this expression I still can't describe, like he was drowning and I was standing on the shore. I almost said something, almost ran over, but his mom glared at me with this smile that wasn't a smile, and something in my gut told me to stay away. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about that notebook, those bruises, that look on his face. I wrote an anonymous letter to Child Protective Services describing everything I'd seen. I never found out if anyone followed up. 3 months before graduation, Daniel's house caught fire at 2 a.m. The official story was an electrical malfunction. His parents made it out through the bedroom window. Daniel didn't. He was found in the basement, door locked from the outside. The fire department ruled it an accident, said the lock must have jammed. His parents gave tearful interviews about losing their only son. The school held a memorial assembly where the principal talked about mental health awareness and checking on your quiet friends. Kids who'd called him Ghost suddenly posted tributes about what a great guy he was. Teachers who'd ignored his bruises dabbed their eyes and talked about how you never really know what someone's going through. I sat in the back of that auditorium wanting to scream because I knew. I tried to tell people, and nobody wanted to listen because his parents had money and status and a Christmas card in the newspaper. I threw up in the bathroom after and didn't go back to class for the rest of the day. 2 years later, I was home from college when a detective knocked on our door. He was investigating the fire. New evidence had emerged from a renovation crew who found a hidden camera system in the Whitmore house. The footage had been stored on a server that survived the fire. What they found was 18 years of documented abuse. Daniel had been beaten, starved, locked in that basement for days at a time. The footage from the night of the fire showed his father pouring accelerant around the basement door while Daniel pounded on it from inside. His mother stood at the top of the stairs watching. The detective said they'd located my anonymous CPS letter in their files. It had been marked as investigated and closed with no action taken. The caseworker had visited the house, talked to the parents in their beautiful living room, and decided the child seemed fine. Never spoke to Daniel alone. Never looked in the basement. She'd been handling 4 times the recommended caseload and needed to close cases fast. She'd picked the one that looked easiest to dismiss. Daniel's parents were arrested that spring. The trial lasted 8 days. They're both serving life sentences now. The caseworker was fired and lost her license. The school counselor who told me to stop making accusations quietly retired.